Yeah.
We got to be out of key.
Yeah, buddy. Get that energy.
It's early in the morning.
Get it. Let's go.
Everyone's staring at us over there.
Yeah, that's perfect. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Feel it.
Feel that?
I'm
I
ready.
feel that.
You feel it?
I feel it.
I feel it.
It's like,
It's like Steve Martin.
All right. All right.
oh my gosh, what's up, Phil?
What's
Hey,
up?
welcome
Here,
to European
When
Rotors.
did you get here?
Yesterday, actually.
How are you feeling?
Actually really good. I got up this morning, did a 5K run.
Nice.
Dude,
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah,
Dude,
on the
that's
canal.
No,
I didn't run-
actually.
I
I was
didn't-
treadmill, unfortunately.
Oh,
Did you go to the gym down the road?
No, it was in the hotel.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
not staying at our hotel.
No, I'm not.
So, fun fact, our hotel doesn't have a gym.
Oh.
But there's a really nice gym like 3 blocks down. And if you get there at 6 a.m., nobody's working.
Oh, perfect.
So what do?
Keep running.
You just walk in,
yeah,
had a nice workout today, feeling good. European Rotors 2024.
yeah.
That's right.
What do you think?
It's
It's good.
amazing. This is my first time in Europe, believe it or not. So super stoked to be here and be with you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super cool. I can't believe, how old are you?
Just don't worry about it.
First time in Europe?
I'm not.
So,
I'm not very sophisticated. Okay.
Yeah.
Golly.
It was my first time in Amsterdam, so I
Same.
can say that.
This
yeah.
is my first time in
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
And
and
I already bought cheese. And just throw that out there. Because you got to, like, when you come to Amsterdam, you like, got to buy cheese.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we went to this little Dutch town. It's like 30 minutes outside of Amsterdam. And there's windmills. And they literally have goats and sheep and cows there. And they're making their own cheese. So Ian and
That's
I picked
cool.
up a couple wheels.
That's fantastic.
Pretty excited to bring it home.
Nice.
I will say I'm most impressed by the architecture here. You've got a mix of buildings that were built in the 1500s
Yeah.
with modern architecture that's built in some interesting ways.
100%.
Hey, it's really cool to see the difference between the two styles of architecture and modern versus old. That canal tour we took, where we talked silently the whole time, was great.
These guys keep saying, so yeah, you weren't here for this.
Oh, was
You,
it?
see, he would have got us in trouble. I'm not the troublemaker.
Well, I don't know. What?
Yeah, so
I'm
when
definitely not the troublemaker.
well, you're boisterous.
Oh, okay, okay.
And apparently I was that day too,
Okay.
because we're on this boat tour. It's lovely. We're going through the canals, checking out the architecture. We're doing everything. And yeah, we're chatting. We're catching up, a couple jokes here and there, doing our thing. And then this woman turns around in front of us and is like, shh. Excuse me? Can you please not talk so loudly? I think she was French. That was
She was not happy.
she was not happy.
No.
So
That's
then,
kind of funny.
so what did I do?
Keep talking about it.
I took a nap.
Yeah, he fell
Oh.
asleep.
I was like, hey, look, I just flew in here. I'm super tired. So if you don't want me to talk, just out. Yeah, no,
Oh
man.
my gosh.
That's the cool thing
funny.
about Europe, though, is just the age, right?
Yeah.
Like, United States is such a baby compared
Yeah.
to Europe. And so to see the architecture, I found out last night, actually, is that the houses here are so narrow because they were taxed on width.
Yeah.
And so they built them just up and back.
Yeah.
And, kind of all makes sense. Checked out the Anne Frank house
Oh,
last night as
look
well.
At you.
I think it's fun. Like,
Yeah.
look, we're here for helicopters.
Yeah.
We're here to celebrate this HeliCASTS, first being at European Rotors, but also to get out, check out the history. I think everyone's read the diary of Anne Frank.
Oh, yeah.
And
Of
so
course.
it was incredible to go. We took a little class, actually. There was a PowerPoint presentation.
Wow.
We learned a whole bunch of stuff. And then we got to go in the house.
That's cool.
And so we
Oh, that's so
walked
cool.
through the halls. I actually learned a ton that I had no idea about, like their living situation and all the people that helped them, and just incredible. They said something too, like it was crazy, like thousands, tens of thousands of people were in hiding during that same time, and only 40 people were caught.
Wow.
And they were one of, Anne and her sister and mother, and then some of the others were caught. Otto, the father, he actually ended up surviving.
Wow.
So he didn't pass away till like the 90s. So, but yeah, incredible history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're making history.
We are.
First
Actually, you know
time.
what? I just thought about this. We didn't even like start this off with like who we are and why we're doing this.
That's a good point.
John, let's start us off. Hey.
All right. Yeah. So Jon Gray from the Hangar Z Podcast.
We start with music. It was
We,
great.
yeah,
It was great.
we were
And I
so
loved it.
excited about the music. We forgot to do
I
the
know,
intro. Yeah, Jon Gray from the Hangar Z Podcast out here as part of the Vertical HeliCASTS team. And we're here at European Rotors in Amsterdam. And our goal in being here is just to promote helicopter aviation through the podcast like we do every day. Just get to do it now in Amsterdam, which is freaking awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here, and it's an honor. You know, it's when you think about the podcast and how new of a medium it is to the aviation community and how far we've come in a short amount of time. It's really, really cool.
Yep.
You know, so
Yeah, it's incredible.
yeah. You want to introduce yourself?
I do. So, Jason Quinn with the Real Rescue Podcast. What's up? I'm bringing some energy today.
You do.
Dude,
Yeah, Mike just came over. He's like, we need you to bring that energy. And I'm like, if I bring that energy, you guys will think I'm on drugs.
See, and I told Mike, I was like, that there are enough people here that like, okay, I've had enough of Quinny. It's time to walk away. Like, I get that, and I understand. So that's why I can come in hot, and then just I go away, and they're like, oh, that was wonderful.
It's like the Jack Russell.
Yeah.
You're spunking full of energy. We love it.
Oh, it's a blast. So,
And I'm Halsey with the Helicopter Podcast. It's a true testament of, I mean, I think what was it, 2 expos ago, so not European Rotors, but at the expo, I remember Mike from MHM talking about this concept. And so the fact that we've had a super successful HI last year with doing first ever in-person podcast, and now we're here doing our first ever European shows is a testament. And it's to you guys, it's to the listeners, and we create this fun content. You guys are killing it right now. You just went viral, by the way, which was insane. What was that? Tell us about that.
Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it's like it was kind of cool. So in this, this is like the end of my trip right now. So I did a little kind of hit the States, a couple spots in the States. I landed in North Carolina because my dad lives in Charlotte. So is my youngest daughter. And just before that, Hurricane Helene had gone through North Carolina. Well, I'm seeing all the posts and stuff. I'm starting to reach out to a couple people, but it didn't hit me until I'm on my way home. They're like, wow, there's a lot of devastation out there and a lot of people. Your buddy, actually our friend, I got to say, Wesley Rhodes, I'll shout out.
What up, Wes?
Dude, love that guy. He is awesome. So him and I got chatting, and he reached out to me. He's like, hey, man, do you think I could take my civilian helicopter and go help people out in Western North Carolina? I'm like, dude, send it. It's awesome. And when that started, he's like, hey, there are some great things going on out there. Civilian operators going above and beyond to help out. So one thing led to another. Next thing I know, I'm sitting with Matt McSwain, Andy Petrie, a whole crew of people over in Winona, North Carolina. And those posts in particular had just taken off. And Andy Petrie's post in particular just went. And the stories that came from Western North Carolina of civilian personnel volunteering their time, their helicopter, fuel, resources.
So cool. The best of
amazing.
humanity is on display.
Oh my gosh, it was unreal. So it's actually kind of funny to me when you start listening to people like, oh my God, people don't care about other people anymore. Baloney.
Nice. Do we have a?
We gotta.
Can we beam him out?
Anyway, yeah, it's unreal what happened, and between the
Here it is.
Holy!
You ready to do it again?
Holy! Nice.
I love it.
Family friendly here, guys.
Yeah, totally. But it was, that's the part of it that's amazing. And what has come out of that even more is more episodes and more recordings and more people that are reaching out that I want to talk about Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky.
It was an incredible thing. I had actually a congressman that he's running for Congress. He came onto the show out of I think the 10th district of North Carolina.
Yeah. And
he was talking about just the response, right? And he's not a helicopter guy, but I was like, look, I need to talk to someone with boots on the ground there. Yeah. And it was so cool. And it's I don't think we've ever seen it like a civilian rally like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And to me, that's just a testament to A, that humanity is still good. And B, helicopters are incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, there is a lot of helicopter hate, actually, right? There's a lot of people who are outside of helicopters that don't love. They're noisy. They're dangerous. They killed Kobe. I mean, all these things against helicopters. But people forget how many lives have you personally saved, right? From a helicopter, right? That's like your vessel, your tool to be able to go and save lives. And now these people are flying around in their personal Robinson helicopters.
Yep.
Super excited. Also, I'm talking with the Robinson guys tomorrow, actually.
Oh, great.
Live from the show. We're going to talk a little bit about Helene and that response. But it's just a testament of this industry, the industry that we're here right now, of just this incredible tool that we're just somehow fortunate enough to be a part of.
Yeah. You think about this marks the 20th anniversary of Katrina this year.
Was it really 20 years ago?
Yeah,
Wow.
20 years ago, and that
hurts.
I think was the birthplace of helicopters when it comes to the rescue community. The United States and the world saw helicopters' capabilities when it came to that storm and the response that came from that.
100%.
So this year, you fast forward to the hurricanes that swept through and the helicopter response to that, and I feel like it's getting better and better every year.
Yeah.
You know, so it's pretty neat that we're 20 years out and we're only continuing to improve and get better at what we're doing with that. So pretty neat.
You know what I was really impressed with, and I'm just going to speak general about North Carolina, but and this is talking to some of the guys there. So the guys that are running the FAA over there, I mean, they had to do all their checks and balances. Again, you've got a bunch of civilian operators rolling into an area.
There's a risk.
Oh my gosh, yes. And actually, there was no, as far as knock on wood, there has been nothing. Nothing has happened to date. So you don't have to
Yeah, it's
knock
incredible.
on wood. No accidents happened, but when they found out like who was kind of operating a base station, it was all like prior combat dudes or like all the radio communication guys, combat controllers, et cetera, et cetera. FAA is like, oh, these are the guys you have running on the ground. Here's 20 squat codes. Oh, and by the way, here's your approach plate and your departure.
Nice.
Right here. And we're going to make this an actual LZ, like an airport pretty much
Yeah, it's incredible.
for helicopters only.
Yeah.
Like what?
I know, and seeing the videos coming out of there, it looks like a helicopter air show actually from that airport. I mean, it's just absolutely insane.
Hit the Hickory Airport, running both sides of the runway, just loaded with helicopters.
It's insane.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
I just think that it's such a boost for the industry.
Yeah.
Honestly. And kudos. I don't think we would ever be talking about Robinson helicopters and necessarily rescue, right? It's not a profile that you think of when you think of a R-44 or an R-66, but they're out there. And I found this interesting that you were saying that a huge reason is their footprint.
Yeah.
Right? Like the fact that they can go where maybe a Blackhawk can't or a Chinook can't.
Yeah.
Like a small platform that can get into tight spots and provide the necessary safety. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. So moving forward from that, what are you guys excited about this show? Who are you guys chatting with? Who are you hoping to see?
I think for me, my community is mostly based in the U.S. All the law enforcement agencies in the U.S. Very familiar with a lot of those folks. So I'm really interested to meet folks here and broaden my community in the law enforcement world, and tell the stories of the good work they're doing outside of the U.S. because there's good work being done all across the world, whether it's law enforcement or search and rescue, the air ambulance world. There's so many cool things that are being done, and it's just cool to broaden my perspective and tell the stories that I pick up on over here. So that's, I think, what I'm most excited for. Just to meet new folks.
Yeah, the networking's cool. You went over to the Dutch National Police the other day, right?
Yeah. Talk about doing good stuff. Yeah, they're doing some great stuff. What's interesting over here is most of the programs are federal programs. They're nationalized programs. So whereas in the U.S. you have city, state, county agencies, federal agencies, all these different levels of agencies. Here, it's pretty much a federal-based program. So it was really neat to go and visit them and learn about what they're doing. It's amazing.
That's so cool. Yeah,
cool.
The networking opportunities are incredible. And I know with you specifically in law enforcement, I mean, this is a bit of an untapped, market over here with at least kind of the knowledge base of what they're doing over here.
Yeah.
And some of the similarities and some of the differences between what you guys are doing law enforcement wise in the States and what they're doing over here.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm hoping, as a consumer of yours, that you're able to connect with a lot of people here and really learn more about what's happening on the law enforcement side.
Yeah, I feel like in the U.S. we learn from each other's mistakes and best practices, and I know there's a lot for us to learn from what they're doing here. They're operating in ways that we aren't here in Europe.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to learn about that and hear how agencies in the U.S. adopt some of the best practices that they're using over here, and vice versa. For them to hear some of the stuff the agencies are implementing in the U.S., maybe adopt that stuff here. So just learning from each other, and I think we talk about the invention wheel and not wanting to have to reinvent the wheel every time you start something new.
Sure.
So learning from the mistakes of others, I think, is huge. So I'm excited for that.
100%. What about you?
I'm excited to connect with a bunch of my friends over here in Europe. Like like the rescue world is a very tight community.
sure.
You know, like aviation itself is small. Then the helicopter is even smaller. And then the search and rescue is like this big.
Yeah.
So I've already seen a couple friends of mine that have walked by. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. So
It's a total reunion.
Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing for me was, you know, the flight school that I went to was in my backyard, 30 minutes from where I grew up, Hillsboro, Oregon. And you would think that most of my peers at school would be from the U.S., but actually, when I showed up, it was like all Europeans. I was like the only American, and the reason for that is because of the training costs. Right, it's a lot more expensive, and the airspace is a lot more restrictive. In fact, I'm excited to learn. I'm chatting with Hillsboro Heli Academy tomorrow, and they're really tapped into the European training market. So I'm really fascinated to hear why Europeans are coming to the States to do training and things like that. But when I walk around a show like this, it's like a flight school reunion.
Yeah.
totally.
I mean, I've literally I could look around right now. Like I see there's a gal right over there that I literally went to flight school with. Shout out to Tina. She's flying helicopters in Greenland now. She's helping out with the AWK guys. Like, it's just, you know, I throw a ball and it's like I went to flight school with someone here. So I think I'm excited for that. It's always good to catch up with old friends and make new friends, of course.
Right.
And then with Helicopter, I'm excited to, you know, have a little presence here.
Yeah.
We've sold some aircraft in and out of Europe. It's not a big, scary thing. You know, there's a process, and I think a lot of Americans get scared to buy aircraft from overseas. And so we kind of help out on that. So I'm excited to continue learning more about that, building relationships.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to plug the conversation you're going to have with Beth.
Oh, yes. I'm very excited. We're talking about pre-purchase inspections while we're here at European Rotors. Pre-buys are kind of like the bane of my existence, to be honest. Because the problem is like, point out a helicopter, and depending on who the guy doing the pre-buy is, they can go and find a million things wrong with it. I mean, and what you may find is completely different from what you may find.
Right.
And then you're working with me, and you're working for, say, a buyer in this case, and you're like, all this stuff's broken, and you're like, none of this stuff is broken, you know? And so there's this here, and there's no standardization. You know, the airplane sales world is a lot more standardized. The helicopter's a little bit Wild West, and that includes pre-buys. So there's no like standard format. Hey, on a pre-buy, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And over time, we've kind of just adapted this. You're doing an annual. You're going to do a 12-month, 100-hour inspection on the aircraft. That's what we're going to do for our pre-buy. And yeah, I'm super excited to talk with Beth and you know, pick her brain on that. And, you know, hopefully as a world community of buying and selling helicopters, we can become better at this whole pre-buy thing.
Yeah, right.
It's complicated.
That's cool. It is complicated.
It's not my favorite part. I got to be honest.
Sorry.
It's not my favorite. Not my favorite part of the job.
It's interesting to me though that people don't want to invest more time and money into that pre-buy inspection. You know, that's a big investment to buy an aircraft, and then to say, you know, I'll go based on what I'm reading on the logs and whatnot. Like, that doesn't seem like a prudent use of investment dollars there.
No, it's crazy, and there's so many people, and I don't think it's necessarily, you know, them making a bad decision other than like just a lack of knowledge, right? There's a lot of people that, you know, they've made some money. They've always wanted to be a pilot, but they went the doctor route or they went the lawyer route or whatever. They're accomplished business people or doctors. They can afford the aircraft, and then they go buy it like they're buying a Toyota truck, right? and then we go to sell it a couple years later. Like, where are the records?
Yeah.
Like, do you have records? I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's in that box over there in the corner.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a thing. I mean, if there's anything that I could do on this platform over time, I doubt I can, but it's like this idea of U.S. operators, specifically private operators, need to do a better job. They need to treat it like it's a helicopter and not a car. You got to do your OEM maintenance, right? Because what do they require? They require a 12-month inspection. That's what the FAA requires. And
so every 12 months, you got to go through.
That's it.
It's like the
that's all the
equivalent
FAA.
It's like the equivalent of an oil change on a car.
Yeah,
you know?
but think about all the maintenance in between the oil change, right?
Right.
So everyone just goes and does their 12-month. Well, they're skipping the 100-hour, the 150-hour, the 300-hour, the 700. It's like, it's just a lot of maintenance is skipped on the private side. And the FAA specifically is very lax. So you come to a country like Europe or as a whole, and it's incredible. It's they really treat private helicopter ownership like professional helicopter ownership. So
nice.
I think we could actually take a play from the Europeans because they really do it right. They have a thing called a camo where it's if you have a private aircraft and I'm an MRO, I can be your camo. Don't ask me what it stands for. I forget. And essentially, I'm maintaining your records for you. I'm making sure that all your ADs, ASBs, CEBs, everything are complied with. And I'm making sure that all the interval maintenance is happening. So when I look at a European helicopter, we bought a couple last year. I mean, they're nice. I can't read some of the entries, right? But they look good. So excited for that conversation. And I think that's something that Europe is doing better than the United States. It's just this idea of ownership, helicopter, private ownership, and actually maintaining the aircraft.
Yeah.
Nice.
It goes back to adopting best practice, right? Looking at what they're doing and figuring out how we implement that into our community, which I think is great.
100%.
Again, no need to reinvent any wheel. Let's just adopt the best practice from each and make it happen.
Can I just pause real fast and say, like, I love the noise in the background right now. Like,
it's kind of awesome.
It's so cool.
We got a ton of people walking around us.
Obviously, we just have a camera facing here, but if you're looking around,
Here, let's see.
and yeah, you got we'll get some live shots. There's just people walking around. It's early here in the morning, 10:30. So the show just started about 30 minutes ago, and just to see the energy, the excitement during the opening, they said that they're going to have 234 exhibitors, which is a big increase from years past. They have over 18 aircraft on display, and they said that they're going to apparently breaking attendance record. So I'm excited to see kind of the post-show attendance, and it's just really cool that shows are happening like this. Got all this energy. We're a bunch of weirdos talking.
No way.
This actually, you know what I feel like here is like we're commentating. Like, wow, look at that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that guy right there.
And that,
Look
and
at
that,
right there.
and that one. That's right. We have
He dropped something right there.
Mike Reno is giving a bit of a peep show right now, guys. Well, I'm super excited for the show. I'm do a little selfie action here while we're recording. Got the whole team, HeliCASTS. I mean, look at this, guys. We got a brand.
I know, right?
We're doing it.
Is cool.
And
very cool.
I'm honored to be a part of this team with you guys. You guys are seriously just killing it right now.
Boom.
You guys are knocking it out. Come on. We got Mr. Viral over here. Incredible.
Just one. So I don't want to go too far. Like, don't let it go to your head. Yeah. It's a start. So
awesome.
You know what? Hey, real quick, wait, before we get going, you guys asked me about like what's going on with my podcast. So I want to hear like what's new with yours. Like, what do you got going?
Man, lots of good things are happening. I'm having phenomenal conversations. One of the biggest things with the this relationship that we have with Vertical and MHM is this pool of people, right? Yeah. So when I go and introduce myself and I'm like, I'm Halsey and I want to do a podcast with you, maybe it doesn't hold a bunch of weight. Right. But if I go on Halsey with Vertical, it changes things, right? There's 23 years of this publication. It's the leading publication in our industry, and on the fixed wing side too, with Skies and Valor on your guys' side. Yep. So for me, just having the access to the guests has been incredible. I'm talking to a lot of executives from OEMs, a lot of executives from MROs and other companies. It's just very exciting, and I love it. I love what it's doing. Yeah. For me personally, I mean, look, cool. I do the podcast selfishly for myself.
Yeah.
I always thought it's like, cool. It's like you get to learn. There's so much I don't know. Like today, I'm going to talk with Fabi. He's the CEO of Loft Dynamics. I don't know anything about VR simulation. And they're doing incredible things. I mean, they're going to have a thing now where they have world-class instructors that are going to be your avatar next to you while you're flying in the simulator at your home base.
Yeah.
Like all these incredible things. So to be able to have the opportunity to talk to people who are way smarter than I am and doing completely different things as what I did in the industry of just flying has been awesome. So the podcast is growing. We're having a good time.
We are having a good time.
Appreciate the download. So keep listening.
Yeah.
And
I want to throw out something that you and I are doing. And Halsey, you're going to be jumping in here shortly with some of this. I know it's coming, but John and I did a little experiment coming up. So I had an opportunity. I went out to Sonoma County Sheriff's Department in Sonoma County, California. I get to fly with them. I get to get in the water with them. What they do out there is absolutely incredible. And the greatest part about it is like I get to record with them in front of their aircraft, like at their base, and talk all about rescue. Vertical came out. and they're going to do an article on it, and
Yeah.
you're going to record it with the Hangar Z.
Yep.
So we're going to do a little trifecta, and we're going to learn so much about that agency that does it with one helicopter,
I love
Yeah.
it.
one 407
Yeah.
It's a multi-level content machine
Yeah.
with one.
with one aircraft.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's
And-
awesome.
Yeah. So that's the stuff that we have coming up. And
It's super cool.
yeah,
No, I'm so excited. I mean, I think again that's part of this relationship, right? To
Yeah.
be able for a consumer of vertical to be able to go read an article on their iPad and then click a link, and they're literally watching you flying with these guys, you in
Yeah.
the water with these guys, you podcasting with them. I mean, that's just like the incredible magic of what this synergy looks like.
Yeah, I look at the different mediums that are feeding off each other. You know, the print, the written, the podcast, the video, like all of it coming together and making a really, really cool picture and telling a really cool story about these agencies and these folks that are doing really,
100%.
really cool things.
Yeah.
So it's just a unique way of telling the story, because a lot of times, you know, in history, there's oral history, there's written history. There's not really a merging of the two, and now we have it.
Yep.
You know?
It's really
So,
cool. It's
gonna
kind of
be-
the future.
yeah, it's going to be fun too. Because I'm really excited because I already talked to them about some of their law enforcement stuff that they do. Like, I don't even want to. No, I'm not. I was gonna give you a little teaser, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna let it ride. But their stories of law enforcement are just as amazing as everything I heard on their rescue side, like cliff rescue, ravine rescue, people out of waters, flipped over boats. And one of the things, a little side note with this, is the U.S. Coast Guard, from where the Coast Guard is stationed to where they can be on the beach, they're about an hour away. And then the next closest rescue unit would be California Highway Patrol, and they're about 30 minutes away. Sonoma County, they're 6 minutes from the
Yeah,
coast.
first in.
So they go right there, and they have an operation approval to go up to 1.5 miles offshore.
That's insane.
So all long line, short haul, some dude hanging underneath the helicopter. Let's go.
Yeah.
See, I want to talk to that guy too.
Unreal,
love.
yeah.
I've actually don't think I've ever had anyone on the podcast that is short hauling.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think I've
oh.
ever actually talked to anyone
Okay.
Actually,
doing that.
Let's make it happen.
Let's
So,
make it happen.
Then
Okay.
there'd be a four. What's a trifecta? What's a four?
Quadfecta?
Quadfecta.
Quadfecta.
We just made it
You know
up.
what? Soon it's going to be the quintessential.
Ooh! Trademarked. Quintessential. Goofball.
Uh, where's the da-da-da shit?
Oh, here we go.
Wait.
Oops.
Oh, wrong one.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on.
Wheels are falling off here.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Stupid joke.
On
Walked
the
into a bar the other day.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
on the heels of what you're
that's
talking about, Quinny, the Hangar Z podcast has been doing some really cool stuff lately. The stories that we're hearing back from the folks that listen to the podcast is really encouraging. You know, and it's not us as hosts that are making this stuff happen. It's the guests that come on and tell their
100%.
stories, that talk about the programs and the things they're doing, the best practice stuff. But I feel like once a week, or if not more, we're getting feedback from folks that are changing their lives because of the content that's coming out of the guests that are on the show. We just had this morning someone tag us in a social media reel who'd gotten a job. Actually, I think it might have been with Sonoma County.
Oh, no kidding.
Henry One.
Wonderful.
He'd been looking for a job in law enforcement aviation. Reached out to us and was asking for some leads, and we helped him where we could. And through his own accord and efforts, he got a job and he's in the
So
community now. So stuff like that's really, really encouraging.
Yeah.
You just had your 200th episode. I just had my 200th episode,
High five.
and you just had your 100th
I
episode.
did.
So for that,
Yeah. Crowd's going crazy. Yeah.
so yeah, we're doing some really cool stuff, and the synergy that exists between all the podcasts is really cool. And
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, it's super fun and it's amazing. I always joke about it. It's like I thought my mom would listen.
That's what I said.
And I feel like that we could. There's a joke there somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm not
totally.
going to.
Yeah,
There's a lot that went through my head right there.
Don't talk about my mom, okay?
No, wrong one.
oh, wait. this one.
Yeah, there we go. So it's so incredible because like you, I mean, people reaching out and saying, "Hey, look, this is my second career, and I didn't think it was possible, but
Yeah.
after listening to your guests, not me, but my guests, I've now been inspired to go and take this leap and have this new career."
Yeah.
And so it's just neat to have
Cool.
that impact, and it's cool to be part of this platform. Excited for Europe too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll have to finish the show with a wrap up. This was our intro. So with the next bit that we bring to you, we will wrap it up. But until then, we'll catch you guys later.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
See you
Good
on the
work.
floor.
Boom.